Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans.
Of all the things I've done in my life, what I did yesterday is the thing I'm most ashamed of. Embarrassed, disappointed, frustrated.
You pooped on one of your neighbors' lawns this time instead of your parents' neighbors?
Would you believe that I feel worse about this than I did about that?
Well,
that was nature calls.
Yeah,
Dave.
that's
that you have no
that's,
control over that.
Yeah.
Like if it happens, it happens. You know, you just kind of gotta let go and let God.
Well, and at the end, there's a little relief.
A lot of relief. No, what I did yesterday is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. And I just hope that when I reveal it to you guys, you can find it in your hearts to forgive me. You still want to be associated with me.
Okay.
Does it involve us?
No.
Oh,
It would only be embarrassment by association. It would be you guys being like, oh, do not feel comfortable sharing a name of a show with her. So I'm going to do it.
okay.
I'm going to fess up and tell you guys what I did yesterday that was so embarrassing, so shameful. I hit, not a person, reply all back on an email.
Yeah, get out. Get out.
What
There's the
happened?
door.
But I don't get it.
Reply. Well, I mean, first of all, you would have to understand how email works.
Well, I get that.
So, you know, when you're on a big group email,
Yes.
instead of replying specifically to the one person you're trying to reply to, the sender,
Yes.
you hit reply all, and now everybody is going to be getting your reply. That's the worst type of person in an office.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you talking about naughty stuff?
No.
What the hell does that matter? That bothers people? Shouldn't have told me that.
I'm not worried
You
about
really
you.
shouldn't have told me that.
I'm not worried about you figuring out how to send reply all
You'd
emails.
have to open emails first in order
You
to
automatically-
reply to emails.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So we got an email, I don't know, 2 days ago that said change the password.
Yeah,
Did you get that?
I did.
I don't know. If
How about you tell me how to do it? To change a password instead of saying change your password.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, most people know how to change passwords at this point, but I hear what you're saying.
I did not know that reply at all. Everybody bothers me.
So let me just give you the backstory, right? So, I've been doing Around the Horn for the last month or so, right?
Yes.
And so every week, the executive producer of the show sends out a big email. It's like 30 people.
Yeah.
Asking for their availability for the following week. So you reply to that email with your availability. Hey, I can do Monday. I can't do Tuesday. I got this going on. Here are the days that I can do the show. And I reply all to the 30 people as opposed to the one executive producer. And I didn't know that I reply all until I started getting responses back from people who were also in the
Really?
email.
I had
Oh,
no
you start
idea.
chirping, yeah. The appropriate response, which seems like it happened to Jen, is you start shaming that person immediately.
Immediately.
Really?
Yeah, you start shaming that person.
Immediately.
Because
See,
everybody
it's-
gets enough emails throughout the course of the day. I don't need to know, like, if I'm David Dennis Jr., I don't need to know what Jen's
So you just-
availability for next week is.
How you
Correct.
delete it. It's much worse to say something disparaging about a person and send them that text.
100% agree. In fact, I got to stick around with you because you're making me feel better about my reply all.
When did you do that?
Oh, I've done it both times. You know.
Or talking disparagingly about somebody on the radio and then they find out and then you get in
I
trouble.
don't
with your
Unless
wife.
you did that strategically, which we know the big guy has done.
You know what? The older you get,
Wait, we're giving
the
him
older you get-
strategy.
and I think I'm in that getting into that territory. I don't get embarrassed anymore because I don't care. Like I pizzled the other day and not all of it came out. Had a big stain, wet stain in the pant. Had to go into I don't care. I really don't care. Like I'm the only one that happens to.
No, of course not.
No, but like also, just change your pants, man.
For what?
You got pee on
It'll
your pants.
dry. It will dry.
And I thought urine was sterile or something like that. Some other line that we were fed years and years ago so that we wouldn't feel shame when it comes to that type of stuff. I love this. So sending a text message to somebody that is disparaging or that is criticizing them or that is gossiping about them is way worse than reply all. That makes me feel a whole hell of a lot better today. Let me just read you some of the responses I got. So my email was just scrolling.
Hold on, question.
Yeah.
Is this big ESPN or is this small ESPN?
Big ESPN.
Oh, okay. How many people are on the reply all?
23. Could have been way worse. Could have been way worse.
It could have been way
It's
worse.
a small, intimate group of people who now are doing Around the Horn. So I said, I have a college game day feature shoot next week, Monday through Wednesday in Florida. But I could do Friday. Oh, I probably should have let you guys know that as well. But
Yeah.
I was getting there.
We're all finding out together.
I was going to get to that. Anyway, I could do Friday of next week for Around the Horn if you need me. Okay? Kevin Clark. You saw him yesterday on Get Up, making his debut. He says, we will excuse the reply all if it's a feature on Miami. It isn't.
Is he a Miami guy?
He is.
Okay. That would make
J.A.
sense.
Adonde. Thanks for sharing, Jen. We're all much better off having this information. And then it says, razzing for reply alls is an around the horn rite of passage, which makes me think I might not be the only person who has ever done this. Makes me think there are many people. Clinton Yates. I still vote for all reply alls to be shared anonymously on the main account. Ramona Shelburne, you're familiar with her work, I'm sure. Jen, you are truly one of us now. The only problem is I'm trying to think of a good way to make fun of your reply all, but nothing is coming to mind because you're so nice. Well, she was clearly drunk.
So these people haven't really gotten to know you yet. That's what we're starting to learn.
How about this company?
What?
Jack and the Beanstalk will be out tomorrow. Who cares? Who cares? It's like I don't even have the strength to delete that. Who cares? I don't care.
You got any other children's characters you want to call our colleagues?
James and his giant peach.
How
are going
many
to be out of the
weather
office.
updates can a person get in one day?
Typically 2.
Oh, I'm saying
1 in the
more
morning.
like 7.
It's 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon.
I also got Woody Page here who said, Aaron, can I please do the show on Friday with Jen? I haven't beaten her in a showdown yet, but please don't tell her that I said that.
See, that's clever.
So I think people were having a lot of fun with my egregious mistake yesterday. Have you ever reply all'd 800-990-3776? When did this happen? Not the reply all option, because I don't really care about that. But when did it happen that the reply all became this like scarlet letter of email communication, Gabe?
I would say probably within the last 5 years. You know, like you should be able to operate your own technology and figure out how to hit me. We've all sent enough email. Most of us have sent enough emails to understand the difference between the one reply arrow and the double reply arrow, which is the reply all.
But this is kind of tracking in what I brought up in the production meeting about sports.
Okay.
And it's the same with email. Email was much better 30 years ago than it was today.
Did you have...
You weren't annoyed like you are today, right?
I think emails jumped the shark. Gotta be honest. Email has jumped the shark. It is so, you're right. It is more of a nuisance at this point in my life than it is a assistant or a help. Is it how we exchange information? Obviously. But like, the fact that I'm sifting through my email between the stores who are sending me their 4th of July sales and the political stuff, holy moly, the political stuff. If I get one more person asking me for a campaign donation.
I got bad news, Jen.
Yeah, I know. It's only going to get worse. I know.
July.
I'm just saying this is what my inbox is now. And then it is the occasional work email that I actually need for an assignment or for something coming up down the road. Like it's insane at this point. I'm just scrolling through to see a lot of the ridiculousness I have in here. Do I really need Homestead boys basketball performance training? Do not delete.
Yeah.
Now that's not even for me.
I was about to say, I don't know if you should be deleting Chase emails.
Chase doesn't even play basketball anymore.
Oh, okay.
Feels like we could get off of that chain. 800-990-3776. Just so you know, Chew, my reply all is not getting as much traction on the ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line as you peeing your pants. Jared weighing in saying, Chewy peed his pants? Consider him Miles Davis.
Not a full, it was a pizzle. It wasn't a full let go.
Well, but based on the way you decided to handle it, if it was a full let go, you wouldn't care either. You'd just be walking around with your pee pants.
I've done the full let go. You have to go and change after that. Not the full, but probably 10th of the tank.
What contributes to that, by the way?
Lazy.
Alcohol.
Forget the shake.
Because for me, I've had several children. I can't keep track of how many exactly, but I've had several. I'm familiar with that. And for me, that's what contributes to it. If I go to like a trampoline park and I think I can go and do the flips on the trampoline like I used to do as a child, I get reminded really quickly that, well, that's not the case anymore. I need to make sure I've emptied the bladder before I attempt any sort of activity
like that. Is the male version of the Kakel the stop and start? To strengthen the prostate.
Yeah, I'm going to let that. We're just going to let that sentence sit out there for a minute, aren't we, Gabe?
Is that pollable? I think it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
I don't think we're putting that
because they tell females to do Kegels after pregnancy. Am I right?
You ain't cool unless you pee your pants.
Am I right, Jen?
Yes, they do tell women that, yes.
Yeah, the stop and start is the equivalent. Gabe, you will get there. Trust me. 37?
38.
Talk to Keith.
Ask him.
Keith will be in my camp. Keith, Gabe's dad, who actually goes by Mark.
Whose real name is actually Mark, but is now Keith on this program.
Did you and your dad have the birds and the bees talk?
I mean, probably. Have I completely blanked that out? Could I tell you what happened? No.
Well, Chewy thinks you guys are going to have the whiz and the wheeze talk.
But it seems like I got to get a little bit older before I can have that talk.
I think you want to have it before it's too late. I think you want to be out in front of that conversation, actually.
Well, at what point does this start happening?
50.
I got a little bit of time then.
You got time.
I got a little bit of time. Wait, so you were just walking around a store with pee pants?
It was the size of a
quarter?
$50. What's bigger than a $50?
A cookie? Was it like
Oreo?
A cookie?
It's more like chocolate chip.
Chips Ahoy?
Okay, like a Chips Ahoy?
You start getting in the Milano range.
Yeah.
Then we're
You
in trouble.
gotta change your pants. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, hold on. Let's see. Lots of folks weighing in. Justin saying, I hate group emails in general. I blame the ESPN producer who sent the email. Jen, don't sweat it. Jay weighing in saying the response is...
Wait. So that producer is just supposed to send 23 separate emails?
Can you BCC people instead? I mean, you don't have to. Again,
but if you BCC and reply all, I'm pretty sure they're
hell
still
is
getting
BCC?
it. So,
I didn't realize we had to do email 001 here.
okay, so when you send an email,
Yes.
there are typically, there's the 2-line, and then after that is CC, which is also their getting.
Yeah.
It's like a carbon copy.
Yeah.
So for 90s boy over here, when you used to have those triplicates, you had the white sheet, the yellow sheet, red sheet underneath.
Yeah.
Those are called carbon copies.
Yeah.
So that's basically what this is. You're just sending it along to somebody. But if you want to send the email and do it kind of secretly where this person is tagged in it, that's a BCC, which is a blind carbon
I have
copy.
no use for that. I just flushed it. I have no use for it. I'm just telling you.
At what point during his description did you stop listening?
When he started talking about lines.
I don't even know that you mentioned lines.
I did, because the lines in the email.
Oh, okay.
It was the very first thing I
Yeah,
said.
exactly. So
See, I
less than
have
10
the
seconds in.
perfect built-in excuse. Thank you, ESPN Milwaukee. Because of we just got the know before that we have to take our little monthly thing.
So that is cybersecurity training.
Cybersecurity training. I am allowed to delete everything and say, I thought it was phishing.
Because Chewy
thought it was spam. I don't even know what spam is, and I love spam.
Our company will send out fake phishing emails to try to entrap you, and then you end up having to take more training. Chewy has had to take more training because he has been trapped by those emails.
Correct. Now I just delete everything. So it's actually you're the one that's going to get in trouble, not me.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, you've got a hell of an arrangement worked out here. It's fascinating. 800-990-3776. I reply all'd to an Around the Horn email and got, necessarily and justifiably razzed for it all day long yesterday. I'm sure whenever they assign me the show next week, it will come up.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure either I will work it into an answer or somebody will work it into a question on the show. I just assumed that it would get worked into your intro by reality. Yes, probably. and the reply all Jen Latta is on the show. We are going to triple crown today, guys. I know you can't believe it out there. You're thinking this show talks about Packers and nonsense most of the time, but we actually are going to talk Packers and Bucks and Brewers all this morning. Sophia Minnaert is going to join the show. Adam Schefter is going to join the show. And after this, Gabe, what are we doing right after this?
Right after this, we have Chewy. Kind of bringing up his everything was better 30 years ago.
Yes.
Except one thing. And we'll get to that.
What a tease. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on right after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We have a couple of accidents to deal with right now. First of all, 94 eastbound just before Highway 16. Right lane is blocked with this, so we got a little bit of a backup heading into that area. On the westbound side of 94, we have another accident. This one is just west of the county line, and it is off on the right shoulder. So watch out for maybe some minor delays past that scene. Rest of the system looks pretty good. The only exception is 894 westbound from about Loomis to Forest Home. Traffic is brought to you by Two Men and a Junk Truck. Have unwanted clutter or junk? Go to twomenandajunktruck.com for a free, no-obligation estimate. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Morning sprinkles, then becoming sunny, warm and humid, a high of 87. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 68. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Wisconsin's Act 60 makes financial literacy a graduation requirement. Make sure your students aren't left behind by partnering with Junior Achievement of Wisconsin. JA offers a ready-to-use financial curriculum tailored to meet Act 60 guidelines, providing an engaging, impactful financial education. Be a part of our commitment to helping every high school in Wisconsin fulfill this requirement. Learn how to partner with us at wisconsin.ja.org. Junior Achievement, inspiring, preparing, succeeding.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. How often do you compare yourself to others? It's easy to envy friends' lives on social media when you only see the good parts. But comparison is the thief of joy. Online therapy helps you focus on what you want, not what others have. Because your best life is better than the idea of someone else's. Visit betterhelp.com/like today to get 10% off your first month.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money, unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
This summer, click into easier yard cleanup with same-day delivery from the Home Depot. Click into clearing overgrown grass or weeds with effortless gas-like power. And click into the convenience of a battery platform compatible with over 250 tools with the Milwaukee M18 fuel trimmer, now for just $199. Click into power with 4th of July savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Order select in stock items by 4 p.m. subject to availability.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I had nightmares at my birth mom's house. It was really scary living there. There were always drugs in the house. The police came, and that's when I was placed into foster care.
Right now in the U.S., more than 100,000 children like Ariana are waiting for a family.
Once I was adopted, I definitely felt safe.
Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find permanent homes for children in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Unbelievable that they ran all over this vaunted defense,
Why
this
did we
elite
drink the Kool-Aid?
defense.
What Kool-Aid?
Why? It was poop Kool-Aid, and we gobbled it down.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Back here on Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I have to clear my throat before every segment. Do you remember that song?
Let me clear my throat.
Thank you very much. Chewy's like, what are we talking about? When was that song?
The 90s.
That's what I thought. Thank you very much. That was a song from the 90s, Chew. I'm surprised you didn't know it since you're such a huge fan of that era. Chewy telling us this morning in our production meeting that everything was better. No. Yes. Yeah. Everything was better then, except for football.
Yeah.
Football is better now, but everything else was better then.
Baseball was better back then. Basketball was better back then. Golf was certainly better back then. Tennis was certainly better back then. You got more?
How much tennis are you consuming right now?
I used to love tennis. I used to love Wimbledon. Now I don't even watch it. It's horrible.
It's because there's no American, but
I mean, my favorite.
It's 100% it.
Americans.
I love Bjorn Borg,
which we could talk about. It's 4th of July week and all that patriotism and whatnot. That's the reality when it comes to sports fans.
When it comes to golf,
not necessarily.
No,
like the U.S. Open was just really good. Like, so we're just talking about there's no Tiger Woods. Is that what we're talking about?
No, there's no names. You watch the PGA, and I'm like, who the hell is that? And there's no characters. I mean, we're talking Ernie Els, Davis Love.
Those are two of the most boring names.
I was
the Big Easy.
It was boring as
Tiger,
bleep.
Unbelievable.
Tiger was really good. He was a personality.
I mean, I could go on and
Phil's
on and
a personality.
on.
Yeah.
All right.
John
So
Daly's
you're telling
a
me,
personality.
hold on.
You're telling me Bryson isn't a personality?
He's fake. It's fake personality. It's not real. Will you agree with me? Tennis was better.
Well, again, I think his point is well made, which is you probably love the Pete Samprases of the world and the Andre Agassi's of the world and the Chrissy Everett's of the world. Like, that's probably where your brain is going. And now you're just not as plugged into the sport, so you don't know any of the people playing.
NBA basketball. I am so sick of everyone take a three. Just kick it back and take a three. Where is a good crisp pass? Where is a nice bounce pass?
Can I introduce you to the WNBA where Caitlin Clark is one of the crispest passers I've ever seen?
So her teammates might not always catch the passes.
That's correct.
Baseball.
Okay.
Better in the 90s.
Is that because baseball was juicing?
Yes,
they were
of course.
juicing the balls and
Yes.
home run derby and Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa?
30 years ago, baseball almost killed itself by going on strike.
Yeah, but then it pulled out of it, and it was absolutely
Yeah, you know
great.
those flights where you just almost crash, but you don't. Those are the
Like
best
Indiana
ones.
Jones,
Yeah.
like you get that close and then you go right back
Those are the
up, just
best
avoid
ones.
the mountain.
So I'm 4 for 4. And I'm saying the only sport that is better today, I think, is football.
Why is football better today than it was 30 years ago?
PEDs. Let me tell you what, me and Gabe are kind of on PEDs right now. If I could have took this crap when I played, holy smoking Christmas.
Do you think that the folks over at Mentality want their products to be called PEDs? If you think they do, it's fine. I just want to make sure that we're all...
Sure.
It's testosterone.
Sure.
I mean...
It's unbelievable.
It's great.
I mean, I can tell you, I go into a gym and I do a certain weight. Typically before, I took PEDs, what I'm on now. I do it for 8. Now I do it for 12. 12. And I'm like, holy smokes. Now I know why these players are so much better. You know? But I do think the game is better.
I feel
it used to be funny when a guy got laid out in a game where we'd all laugh and we thought it was funny. We realized that it's not funny. Took that out of the game, which is smart. And now there are some things that are kind of weak, but I think the product is much better.
You like all the rule changes that favor the offense, that favor the quarterback?
Jen, my perfect game is probably 31-28.
So you like scoring?
I like scoring. I don't like 55 to 54, but 31-28 is a hell of a football game, I think.
I feel like it hasn't been that long since you sat on the show preaching about how football was better in the 90s when you played.
Because of the physicality, I think it's kind of purged itself. It's been out of the game long enough to where you say, okay, this is better. You've gotten
used to it?
Because, I mean, I can speak from experience. I played a lot of years where I was only 85% because I was so beat to hell. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't, as fresh as they were today because they don't practice as much and do all that, but they figure it out.
I can't help but wonder, though, if this theory that you are presenting to us that everything was better in the 90s except for football is just because you don't have the bandwidth anymore to pay attention to some of these other things. Like, baseball is better. The rule changes for baseball have made it better. The biggest gripe, the biggest complaint about baseball was that the games took too long and it was boring, and that the fan base was aging itself out, i.e. dying. They were dying. And so how do you attract the newer fan base?
It's still boring. Because, Chris, I think you said it in the production meeting. There were superstars in the 90s.
There are superstars.
They're very little.
Ellie De La Cruz.
Never heard of them.
Aaron Judge.
But people recognize names like Ken Griffey Jr., and they recognize names like Sammy
Barry
Sosa,
Bonds,
Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds.
Sammy Sosa, the guys who played for the Astros.
Jeff Bagwell.
Bagwell.
He knows them so well. He can't think
Yeah.
of them now, but he knows there were guys. But yes, the killer bees.
Even basketball to a standpoint, Dominique Wilkins, Julius Erving.
80s, that's the 80s.
Isaiah
nail
Thomas.
down your decade, please.
Isaiah Thomas.
We're talking about 40 years ago now, not 30 years ago in the NBA.
It's a soft 30.
30-ish.
30 adjacent. What, you're telling me there's no star power in the NBA today?
There is, but I don't think there's as much.
No, there is.
Magic Johnson, Kareem,
80s.
Kemp.
Okay, we got to the 90s.
Kemp.
Yeah?
You going to mention Michael Jordan, or we're just going to pretend like he didn't exist?
He didn't exist.
I mean, that's easy.
LeBron, Steph, Giannis, KD, Embiid.
Old, on their way out.
Okay, of all though, okay, I mean, I guess probably LeBron and Steph, but Luka,
to me, this is, again, he's just not paying attention.
Correct.
You're just not watching the league.
Like, there's probably more star power in the NBA today than there was in the 90s.
I just don't like the threes, how everyone shoots a three, and there's no flow to the game. There's no good passes. Ugh.
Have you watched Luka pass the basketball?
I used to love basketball. I used to love it. I don't know. Baseball, okay, you could call it a push. I still think there's more superstars back in the 90s that are recognizable than there are today.
Because they did a better job of marketing themselves, right?
You think so?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think of the Chicks Dig the Long Ball commercial that Nike did with Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux. They're two pitchers. They want the attention that Mark McGwire's getting, and it was a great commercial. Like, I vividly remember that. Ken Griffey Jr. had great commercials back in the 90s. Like, they marketed these people. Like, is Aaron Judge on a single commercial that you can think of?
Why aren't any of those guys playing football? Where's Bo Jackson? Where's Deion Sanders? Those were exciting to watch. Deion getting on a helicopter after he plays a baseball game, and then he's got to go play for Atlanta?
That's an easy answer, Chew.
What?
Specialization.
Yeah, you're right.
But if you're looking for helicopter rides, can I introduce you to NASCAR and IndyCar, or NASCAR and open wheel? Because sometimes a guy will do the double, right? He'll
do the Indy, and then they'll do the Coca-Cola.
And then they'll hop in a helicopter, to your point, and then you can watch that one. So that, again, Chewy thinks that everything was better in the 90s. We do have people saying that music was way better in the 90s. That is one area that Chewy disagrees on. He hates 90s music.
I hated grunge.
90s music is awesome.
No, grunge is terrible.
You're terrible.
What about NASCAR? NASCAR was probably better in the 90s than it is today.
See, I don't watch NASCAR. I mean, I recognize names from that. I had an uncle who was huge into it. So, like, I was familiar with the Dale Jarretts, the Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s, Jeff Gordon, that sort of thing when I was growing up. But I don't pay attention anymore. There could be guys that are just as good now. I just have no idea.
We are going to workshop a poll here. I just got to figure out exactly how we're going to word it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll to figure out if people agree with Chewy's assessment that everything was better in the 90s except for football and music. Because those are the two things that Chewy does not think were better in the 90s. We have to take a break. We have Adam Schefter coming up next. Get your questions in for Adam Schefter. We've got him on the show right after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have an accident on 94 eastbound just before Highway 16 being dealt with that is blocking the right lane, so we got delays back to Meadowbrook Road. Then we've got one on westbound 94 just west of the county line. This one luckily is out of traffic on the right shoulder. Heavy ride on 894 westbound from Loomis to about 68th Street through that construction zone. Traffic is brought to you by 2 Men in a Junk Truck. Have unwanted clutter or junk? Go to 2meninajuncktruck.com for a free, no obligation estimate. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Sunny, warm, and humid with a high of 87. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 68. Weather is brought to you by Higher Love Cannabis Company. Find your Higher Love today, only 59 miles from Green Bay. Find higherlove.com/CBD. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Another MVP has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Dr. Ryan Stefanchek. Board certified in sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation, Dr. Stefanchek specializes in non-operative treatment of the spine, chronic pain, all joints, all musculoskeletal problems, and more, emphasizing holistic care first, with a focus on diet, sleep, stress management, and social connections for a patient's well-being. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
The Island Resort and Casino is the Midwest's premier resort destination, giving guests the total experience with a luxury hotel, full-service spa, live lounge and headline entertainment, multiple dining options, and more, all surrounding a lively Vegas-style casino. And atop many a golfer's bucket list are the island's 2 championship courses, Sweetgrass and Sage Run. When we say your total experience, we mean it. Plan your getaway today at islandresortandcasino.com.
Jen Latta here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I have told you about the delicious pizza you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate. Now there's even more to be excited about with new sandwiches on the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy options like the turkey pesto, the meatball hero, the Italian hoagie, and more. Skip the same old lunch at your desk and grab a delicious sandwich from Proof instead. Order inside the restaurant or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher, and summer is here. But if you want your parking lots and asphalt to be ready for winter, you have to remember the 3 R's from Johnson & Sons Paving. Reseal every 2 to 3 years. Repair when you see signs of cracking or potholes. And replace if there's constant standing water, buckling, or sinking. Don't scare customers or tenants away because of a bad parking lot. Connect with Johnson & Sons today before minor repairs end up being huge headaches. Schedule an appointment at johnsonsonspaving.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm going to go with the corn dog, the old corn dog. The corn dog for the
pierogies
birthday.
and borscht all day long.
That's just crazy. Nobody likes borscht, let alone on their birthday.
So good. It's the only thing that makes my mouth water, other than my wife.
On 94.5 ESPN. Everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
Adam Schefter teased some big breaking news. Adam, you've told us about it. What do we got?
Adam's on the phone.
Adam, some more.
Adam, you got more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move.
And he was the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
It'll be up to Russ Ball to see if he can get this deal done, wants to get it done, don't think that they're anywhere close to getting it done right now. And those are conversations that'll occur here.
Adam Schefter on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Also sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
Adam Schefter on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. If you are looking for top-notch orthopedic care, OAW's team of doctors has just been nominated for Milwaukee Magazine's Top Doctors. From sports injuries to joint replacements, their doctors are dedicated to providing personalized, compassionate care. You can experience the OAW difference. Go to their website, orthowisconsin.com. I have missed Adam Schefter the last few weeks. Didn't have a voice 1 week. Last week was shooting a feature interview. So I am back. It is good to see you, Adam. It is good to hear you, Adam. And I want to begin with this. How much scorn and ridicule do I deserve for the reply all that I did yesterday, that I committed yesterday with the Around the Horn group? I reply-alled my schedule to all 30 people, and deservedly so, people came after me. They razzed me. But I'm just, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much scorn do I deserve?
Well, what's even worse is when they do it at our company, Jen, and they send out one of those memos and they reply to like thousands of people. So at least you only did it to 30 people. I can't stand the people that do that. And then the next person chimes in, please take us off this chain. Yes, we don't want to be on this chain. Yes, we don't want this email. And all of a sudden, we've got an echo chamber of 86 more emails that nobody wanted, right? Like, so you started that for 30 people. I think people recognize and they probably got past it. So it's okay. It's a faux pas. We'll give you a hall pass here. Don't let it happen again. All good. Do not let it happen on one of those company-wide emails where you got some idiots who do some really dumb things with emails.
Well, have you, because you are just, this source of information that you're exchanging all over the place. Have you accidentally ever sent the wrong text to the wrong person, like replying to a source? That's got to be horrifying.
Yeah. By the way, like, I make my living with texts, but I think that everybody does that. Everybody, right?
Oh,
that
yeah.
is, it has happened to everybody. It's happened to me a couple times. Like, right. I send a GM a text. Hey, this team's not. Did you mean this? I'm like, oh boy, I was just texting with this other guy. How did I text this to this guy? And you just hope it's never something that would be, I don't know, personal or worthy of ridicule. And that I don't think has happened to me, but not that I can recall. But I don't want to jinx it because everybody makes texting mistakes every now and then. Jen's came yesterday. Surely we will make some at some point in time.
Adam, since we talked last, I believe the NFL lost the lawsuit against Sunday Ticket, where, and I know there'll be an appeal and all that stuff, but as of right now, each team has to pony up $450 million. How does a team like Green Bay, who Jason Wilde told us they have around $700 million in the kitty, how do they do that? How do they write a check for $400? If this is going to be the case, how do they write a check for $450 million?
Well, they're not writing the check right now. That's the whole thing, and I think this is going to go through a long appeal process, and who knows how much more television revenue is going to roll in by then. How many more streaming services are going to roll in by then? The number I had heard was $150 million per team, not $450. And I don't care whether it's $150 million, $450. It's still a ton of money. But when does that money due? How does it play out? I'm not smart enough legally to answer some of these questions. I'd have to really sit down and dig in. And I'm going to be honest with you, Chewy, I've not spent my July vacation digging into how the NFL is going to pay out millions of dollars in a lawsuit it lost to DirecTV. I just honestly, my mind's not there right now. So I just think that the one thing I do know is that there are going to be appeals. This is going to be a lengthy process. And I don't think any NFL team is going to be cutting a check anytime soon.
If the Packers do what we think they're going to do this year and kind of build off their year last year, Adam, San Francisco is going to be a team in the way, and they've had the Brandon Ayuk drama happening all throughout the course of the summer. He's just going to play for the Niners this year, right?
That's the expectation. They're not planning to trade him. They really have not entertained that. They've not intended to do that. And so he's there. And by the way, if you're the Niners, and let's just say a team out there offered you I'm making this up, a first-round draft pick for Brandon Ayuk. Why would you, as the 49ers, a potential Super Bowl contender, trade him now for a pick in 2025 when that pick is going to do nothing to impact your 2025 season that you've put an awful lot of attention and energy into, that you have Brock Purdy in the last year of his rookie contract, which helps you out elsewhere? They're not trading him for a future draft pick now. It's just not going to happen, right? Like, it makes no sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be there. I expect he's going to be there this year. I don't know how happy he'll be. I don't know how much of an issue that'll be. That'll play itself out this year. It's not like the situation has been resolved or settled, but it's an ongoing situation right now. And they're still trying to get it worked out, and there's time to work it out still.
Adam, Chef Ed weighing in on our ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line asking if anybody is interested in signing David Bakhtiari. Are you hearing anything about David Bakhtiari having maybe another year or another run here in the NFL?
Well, Jen, I had him on my podcast 2 weeks ago, and I was surprised by the fact that he not only wants to play this season, but he's planning to play multiple seasons, and he feels like he's rebounded well with that knee. And the way he made it sound to me was he had multiple teams that were interested, and I think it's more a question of him waiting till he feels right, along with the right opportunity. But do I think David Bakhtiari is going to be playing this season? I do. Based on what he told me, absolutely. I think that he'll have a new home. If I had to guess here, he'll sign sometime right before camp, maybe the first week of camp. That would be my guess. But at some point, hopefully he'll give me a little heads up about the fact that he's going to be signing here. We'll see.
Adam, how good are the Jets going to be this year? And let me ask you why. Because
you sound like the Jet fans I was playing golf with yesterday.
Yeah, but I look at all these power rankings, and you take power rankings for whatever you will.
Yeah.
And they are consistently anywhere from middle teens, 16, 17 to 24. Mm-hmm. And we've been around Aaron long enough in his years in Green Bay that we were conditioned, you don't bet against this guy because he's going to burn you. Do these people believe that he's not good anymore? I mean, I think it's kind of disrespectful. And I kind of dismiss power rankings that have the Jets at 24 because I think they're much better than that.
Well, everybody's got the image in their minds of the Jets finishing last year in the position that they did. Here's the thing. They could be 24 in power rankings today. They could win their first 2 games of the season, and they'll be within inside the top 10, Chewy. So, again, power rankings mean absolutely zero to me, nothing to me, okay? So what I would say to you is what I'd say to the Jet fans, what I did say to the Jet fans yesterday when they asked me about the Jets. I said, do you think that Aaron Rodgers is going to play 17 games this year? Answer that question first. What's your answer to that?
I would say yes. We've learned not to bet against Aaron Rodgers here in Green Bay.
Well, okay. Well, if he's playing 17 games, they're going to be a top 10 team. Just telling you right now. They're going to be a top 10 team if he's playing 17 games.
Mm-hmm.
I said to them, how do you think the offensive line will hold up? That's the other question. They have put a ton of time and resources into that offensive line, basically redone the whole thing, revamped it. They signed Tyron Smith from the Cowboys. Now, Tyron Smith, when he's healthy, is tremendous. Now, the question is he going to be healthy? We'll see. They drafted Olu Fashanu from Penn State in the first round. So you put a first-round pick into offensive tackle. You put a big free agent investment into offensive tackle. You traded for Morgan Moses at offensive tackle. You signed John Simpson from the Baltimore Ravens. So John Simpson and Morgan Moses both come over from Baltimore. You get back Elijah Vera Tucker, who's really good. You get back Joe Tippmann, a former second-round draft pick at center. Like, they really, when you look at it on paper, have the parts and pieces to have a effective, strong offensive line. Now, and I said this to Greeny yesterday. We were talking about the Jets, but you just always get the feeling with the Jets that something's going to go wrong. Like the bottom, where's the bottom falling out? Because it has for 50 years, every year. Like, it's fallen out for 50 years. Now, there's going to be a year when it doesn't happen. And hopefully it's in our lifetimes, because I've got a lot of frustrated Jets fans that live around me. But if they're all healthy, they should be a top 10 team.
Adam, I think the only person outside of the Green Bay Packers that loves Jordan Love more than the Packers do is Mike Tannenbaum. He just continues to sing the praises of Jordan. And last week, he went on television and said if he were Jordan Love, he'd wait till Dak signs and then ask for 10 years, $600 million. And if he were the Packers, he would give it to him. If the Packers offered a 10-year, $600 million contract, who says no? Do the Packers say no to that? Does Jordan Love say no to that?
Well, I don't think the Packers are offering a 10-year, $60 million contract. And by the way, if they had offered that, then the deal would be done right now, right? They haven't offered that. So it's a moot point. Now, I understand what Mike's point is, and I've had a lot of people over the years raise this question to me, and it's very true. Teams have been very aggressive about signing quarterbacks long-term deals, as they should be. Like if you get a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow, you're going to do everything you can to make sure those guys never leave. But if you were a quarterback and wanted to go through the protracted drama that comes along with it and try to force the issue to get to free agency, oh my God, would you be able to reset the market? Which is, by the way, exactly what Dak Prescott has done and exactly what Kirk Cousins. But the issue is, like, when you're a quarterback and you're really good and you're one of those guys that I mentioned, and the team comes to you and they say, okay, here's 5 years and $250 million, and it's still top of the market. That are you turning that? Why would you turn that down? You're not going to. You're going to take that because it's life-changing money. But if somebody wanted to bypass that life-changing money, they could propel themselves into the type of position that Dak Prescott is about to be in, where he really is going to get some life-changing money. Because if he comes out and plays the way he did last year, even if they flame out in the first round of the playoffs again, even if they don't make the playoffs, there's going to be a quarterback desperate team next offseason that gives Dak one of those 10-year, $600 million contracts. That might be low on the average annual basis for him. But the quarterbacks never or rarely play it out to the end to where they put themselves in a position where they're becoming free agents. If they were willing to do that, they would have incredible leverage. But again, the hard part is when you're Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs come to you and say, here's 10 years and $500 million, what are we doing? You turn that down to try to get 10 years and $600 million? Like, give me a break. So that's why so few quarterbacks, good quarterbacks, get to free agency. And it just sort of happened with Dak, just as it happened with Kirk Cousins. And when Kirk Cousins became a true unrestricted free agent and left Washington for Minnesota, he was able to parlay that into a fully guaranteed contract, high averages. And then when he leaves Minnesota with a similar arrangement, he goes to Atlanta for $100 million guaranteed. And now Dak's in a situation where, I believe if he hits the free agent market, he's going to become the highest paid player in NFL history. And I believe that mark is going to set the standard for other quarterback deals over time, and it's going to impact them. So Jordan Love could wait. He could wait, absolutely, and his price will go up. But the issue is, what if he waits and then doesn't play as well this year? What if he waits and then suffers some type of injury? What if? So do you pass up, we'll call it $55 million a year. Let's call it 5 years, $275 million. Are you passing that up to try to get to 5 years and $300 million? Really? Like, is that worth the risk? I don't think it is. And I'm an advocate of quarterbacks trying to put themselves in this great position of unchallenged power. Like, that would be unbelievable. But it goes back to that expression, pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered, right? And you don't want to be the hog here and try to make it to $300 million as opposed to $275.
Adam, last thing we have for you before we let you go. It is the 4th of July this week. Where does the 4th of July rank on your holiday power rankings?
Not high, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, the 4th of July, I recognize it's our country's birthday. It stands for tremendous things. I'm all for that. But I think of it selfishly in personal terms. July 4th means, for me, the end of my summer's coming quick.
Yeah.
Training camp's opening soon. And it's all about to start up again. That's why I much prefer Memorial Day, because I know I've got 6 weeks ahead of me that are going to be nice, peaceful, relaxing. So Memorial Day automatically, leapfrogs July 4th on my holiday rankings. Okay, that's number one. Like, in fact, Memorial Day might be my number one holiday because it's just such a nice time of the year. I love that. It's the start of the summer. It's great. After that, I do love Thanksgiving. The sitting around that day, family, food, football. That's fantastic. Trying to think what other holidays I would.
Labor Day. Labor Day's great.
I kind of like. I'll tell you why I like. Go ahead, because it's the start of football season, right?
No. Kids, get the hell out of the house and go to school.
You know what? That is a good one. Labor Day gets put up there because you're right. And I always think my fantasy football drafts are right around Labor Day, and fantasy football draft day is one of the great days of the year. So you know what? Labor Day is a great holiday. I'll put Labor Day ahead of July 4th.
Well, Adam, we appreciate you spending some of your holiday week with us. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you again soon.
Happy 4th to everybody. We'll talk next week.
All right. He's Adam Schefter. You can hear him each and every week right here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Gabe.
And each and every week, he is brought to us in part by our friends at Island Resort and Casino. It's a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. I love to go out there, play some of the golf, but check out everything they have at islandresortsandcasino.com and book your total experience today.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
The Jen, Gabe, and Chewy podcast is sponsored by Celsius Energy Drink, and I am here to tell you it makes a huge difference in my mornings. With a unique blend of essential energy and key vitamins, Celsius is your partner to an active lifestyle. My favorite, the Peach Vibe. Learn more at Celsius.com and pick up Celsius Energy Drinks today.
Spending more time at home? Don't forget that 94.5 ESPN's on your smart speaker. Just ask Alexa to open 94.5 ESPN. 94.5 ESPN on Alexa is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Nagging pain lasting for months, difficulty performing everyday tasks, not moving like you'd like, it's time to see the doctor. And I recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Anytime I've needed care, the appointments are timely, no waiting weeks to be seen, and no pressure to have surgery. It's about getting the right diagnosis and choosing a treatment plan that fits your life. No question where I turn if I'm injured again. The experts in care at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's orthowisconsin.com.
The Island Resort and Casino is the Midwest's premier resort destination, giving guests the total experience. With a luxury hotel, full-service spa, live lounge and headline entertainment, multiple dining options, and more, all surrounding a lively Vegas-style casino. And atop many a golfer's bucket list are the island's 2 championship courses, Sweetgrass and Sage Run. When we say your total experience, we mean it. Plan your getaway today at islandresortandcasino.com.
Baseball, grilling, festivals, tan lines, and Saz's. Summer in Wisconsin is the finest, and Saz's Statehouse is the place to be. They've been a Milwaukee staple for almost 50 years, so they know a thing or two about summer fun. Enjoy handcrafted cocktails, festival-famous combo platters on Saz's outdoor patio, or cool off with your friends at their famous round bar. Saz's complimentary shuttles are ready to take you to games and concerts at AmFam Field. Get details at Saz's.com, located at 55th and State. See you at Saz's.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Whether it's expanding your business, upgrading your equipment, or covering payroll, you can score big with swishfunding.com, the slam dunk solution for your business funding needs. If you have at least $25,000 in monthly revenue and been in business for at least 1 year, qualifying's easier than a layup. We fund up to $5 million in 24 hours. Go to swishradio.com. That's SWISH radio.com. Swishradio.com.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Walls. For every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. That is 5 years. Restrictions apply. Tell them I sent you and get an additional $250 off your project. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to UWD.com.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Grab a Coke and grab some cash with a Coca-Cola Summer Cash Grab, only from Quick Trip. Play daily in your Quick Rewards app for a chance to win up to $250,000. Earn extra chances to enter by purchasing any qualified Coke, Monster Energy, Powerade, Body Armor, Smart Water, or Core Power Elite products with Quick Rewards. Summer just got a whole lot cooler with Quick Trip and Coca-Cola. No purchase necessary. See QuickTrip.com/sweepstakes for details.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
63. What's that?
The number of yards they gave up on the ground against the Philadelphia
It's a
Eagles.
Bible verse, John 3:63. Look it up. Tell us what it
I
says.
thought it was Joe 363, and it was "Thou shalt not get past me on the line of scrimmage."
On 94.5 ESPN.
The mortgage process is a huge stressor for a lot of people, and Great Midwest Bank believes that securing loans should not be stressful. Great Midwest Bank offers convenient technology options. You can apply online through their safe online portal in as little as 20 minutes, and it is virtually painless. Don't worry, you'll always have a real person to talk to if you want. Great Midwest Bank's loan officers are just a call or a visit away. If you are looking for a new home, you can win home field advantage when you work with your community bank, Great Midwest Bank. Go to their website for more information. It's greatmidwestbank.com to see what GMB can do for you. Very, very, very full second hour of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Giannis and Josh Jacobs and Ken Rosenthal. Oh my, don't forget Sophia Minnaert. She is coming up next. Stick around.
An earlier accident right west of the county line on westbound 94 has been cleared out of the way. So things are moving along pretty well through there. We are seeing some delays, though, from about 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. On the eastbound side, a little tight through the stadium interchange. Northbound 43 starting to slow down from North Avenue up towards Keefe. And on the westbound side of 894, backing up out of the 27th Street area towards Forest Home. Traffic is brought to you by Two Men in a Junk Truck. Have unwanted clutter or junk? Go to twomeninajuncktruck.com for a free no-obligation estimate. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, sunny and warm and humid with a high of 87. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 68. Weather is brought to you by Higher Love Cannabis Company. Find your Higher Love today, only 59 miles from Green Bay. Find higherlove.com/CBD. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Island Resort and Casino is the Midwest's premier resort destination, giving guests the total experience with a luxury hotel, full-service spa, live lounge and headline entertainment, multiple dining options, and more, all surrounding a lively Vegas-style casino. And atop many a golfer's bucket list are the island's 2 championship courses, Sweetgrass and Sage Run. When we say your total experience, we mean it. Plan your getaway today at islandresortandcasino.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Injuries happen, but you don't have to play in pain or stay on the sidelines. Whether it's your kids dealing with a sports injury, college athletes, or the rest of us weekend warriors. The experts at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin will quickly diagnose your problem, lay out a treatment plan that works for you, and get you back in the game. They fixed my knee. My mother-in-law is back on the dance floor with a new hip. These are the experts you can trust. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A
locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jim, you know not a book will be cracked on field day. That's what my kids are doing
Yeah,
today.
it's a little stressful, though.
I don't think we have finished with my inbox.
What's Scott's tides?
Has it really been 10 years? Local businessman pledges college tuition to third graders.
Please explain.
I'm
Stressful
speechless.
from the standpoint of like, God, I hope I made it to the next grade. See what I'm saying?
No.
Michael, why did you promise that?
To change lives?
No, Michael, why would you promise that?
You know, okay.
A
I'd
day
say
in my life.
Third, fourth, fifth that crossed my mind.
In fourth grade, you were worried about making it to fifth?
Yeah.
I fell in love with these kids, so I made them a promise. I told them that if they graduated from high school, I would pay for their college education. I've made some empty promises in my life, but hands down, that was the most generous.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
I'm sure you're aware that Giannis Antetokounmpo is currently playing for the Greek national team, trying to get that squad to the Paris Olympics. And so Giannis has been doing some media with, I believe this is a Greek order.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Harris Stavro, who posted on X. I asked Giannis Antetokounmpo to describe a typical game day in Milwaukee. To be honest, I didn't expect such a detailed reply, but this is gold. So we're going to play this for you. And heads up, it is long. We're going to stop a few times in between to react to Giannis's response about what a typical game day in Milwaukee is like. Take a listen.
How important is time management during the season, and how you feel a typical game day in Milwaukee?
A typical game day in Milwaukee. I'll say my game day starts 6:30 a.m. You probably see me sometimes after the games when the game ends at 10 p.m. I think you've been in a lot of my games with the national team and the Milwaukee Bucks, obviously. And you see me like I don't even really want to talk to nobody. I just want to take my kids and put them in the car and take them home. The reason is why, because my day, that game, I started from 6:30 in the morning. From 6:30 until 8, I do a specific treatment that I don't want to share with people. After that, I eat my breakfast, get in my car, go there, warm up my body, do my stretching. After that, I do this, I can say, blood flow restriction training, which allows you to play more years, longer years. It allows you to lift weights without actually the weights on you. And you get the same effect. Your muscles get the same shock. After that, I shoot. We do watch film. We go through shoot around. After shoot around, recovery, ice bath, stretching, go back, kiss my kids, nap time, don't bother daddy, close the door. After nap time, get up.
All right, let's hold off right there. So Chewy, when you hear pro athletes saying my day, and the NBA is a little bit different than the NFL because you guys have a structured week with just one game at the end of it. The NBA playing sometimes back-to-backs.
Yeah.
Obviously, the schedule's different. But when you hear that's the first part of his day, waking up at 6:30, doing whatever he does until 8 o'clock, training that he doesn't want to share with people, breakfast, get to the facility, all that. What was the first thing that went through your mind? I'm
surprised how early he gets up. Okay, because they're typically playing a 7:30?
Yeah.
7:30 game. So if we played a night, Monday night game 7:30, they let us sleep in, I think, until 8:30. But I think the NBA, aren't they big on naps in the afternoon?
That's where we just paused, where he got back and he's taking a nap.
Okay. So my day, say for a noon game, because we mostly played noon games, wake-up call was 7. Breakfast, 7:30. So we'd wake up, obviously, just throw our clothes on, not shower, because we wait till we get to the facility. Go down, eat breakfast. I don't drink coffee. I didn't drink coffee when I played. Now, I would during the practice week because meetings are so long, but as everyone knows, caffeine makes you jittery.
Sure.
Right? And the last thing you want to be out there is jittery.
Let me get this straight. You wouldn't drink coffee because it would make you jittery.
Yes.
But you took a supplement.
That's Agent Orange, though. It doesn't make it jittery. It just like...
It made Brett throw balls into the seventh row.
That's Ching. No more Ching. Ching wasn't allowed with Brett.
So you guys wouldn't do the things that made you jittery, but would take something that would jack you up to the point.
It wouldn't make you jittery. It just make you super alert.
Hold on a minute. Have you guys ever heard of blood restriction therapy before?
No.
Blood flow restriction training. Never heard of it before.
Nope. Never.
Now, I immediately Googled it and was like, what in the world is this? They use a cuff or a strap placed tightly around the limb to reduce but not completely stop the blood flow, because I feel like the completely stopping of the blood flow would be bad for the limb and ergo the human. I've never heard of this before. So they restrict the blood flow and then they lift. And apparently you could exercise with lower intensity but get the benefits of high-intensity training.
You familiar with this, Dr. Chimura?
No. But they're lifting before the game?
That's what he's saying.
That's weird. Because lifting to me in basketball, I was always to believe that it threw off your shot.
Well, yeah, but you got to, throughout the course of the season, you got to maintain your strength.
Yeah, but like Barkley, I knew Barkley always lifted after the game.
Okay.
So as soon as the game was over, he went into the weight room because he had a lather going, and he would do his weight training then. We did no weight training, nothing. We stretched, but we all had routines like that where you get to the facility for a noon game, 7:30. I was there by 8:15. Do your thing, take your hot tub shower, tape, play a little backgammon, and then get into your space. See, we had to get into a different space, though.
Oh, 100%.
Had to get into a different space.
Sure.
And
Different
we had
sport.
to do it. It didn't matter if it was preseason or regular season, because in the back of most NFL players' head, we all know that you can get severely, severely injured playing football to the point where, I mean, where it almost happened in Buffalo, you could actually die. That's in your head. So you had to get yourself like, all right. I imagine NASCAR is kind of the same way. Like, I'm going 250 miles an hour. You got to be a little crazy.
So you're compartmentalizing.
Compartmentalizing. Myself, I wanted to be alone. So when I was taped, shoes on, not shoulder pads, I would go into the weight room and just sit there and hide, kind of like behind the machines, and just sit there for probably 45 minutes and get myself into that space.
Okay, I want to keep rolling on Giannis because we got another couple of minutes here getting through the rest of his day. Go ahead, Chris, pick it up.
Nap time, don't bother daddy, close the door. After nap time, get up, kiss my kids again, get in the car, go to the game 3 hours before the game, warm up in the game. After the game, go back, do my boots that you guys have seen me in the internet a lot of times, my Normatec boots. After that, get on the table, do some scraping so my muscles are ready to compete. Go back, watch film, meditate a little bit, stretch, foam roll, go back, tape my ankles, go 30 minutes before the game, watch clips of the other team, hype up your teammates, listen to some music 20 minutes before, go warm up for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, then we hear the national anthem. If you play in Greece, you hear the Greek national anthem. If you play in the US, you hear the US national anthem. After that, you go to Doc Rivers, whoever is the coach. He tells you guys, good luck, let's play hard, blah, 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 the same exact thing that you say.
The difference between, I'm gathering, between basketball players and Giannis and football players, you try to burn as little energy as possible.
Sure.
As little energy. And nervous energy, or obviously physical energy, because you have to go out there and, like, for my position, I had to block 300-pound linemen. I didn't want to be in a weight room getting tired before I had to do that. So that's a big difference. But you do have to get into the space. But for me, they're coming. Holmgren could say whatever, and I'm not hearing them.
Seems like Giannis isn't really hearing whatever either.
I'm not hearing them. I'm just in my space, getting myself prepared to play. I was never a guy. I was prepared to go by Saturday. I never looked at a playbook. I never did anything, because then you get to the point where you're like, when you second guess yourself is the worst when you're out there. So you're just you're in a cloud. You're in a space until, the first play of the game, and then it takes 3 plays. People say a first hit or something like that, but it's literally 3 plays to get into the flow of the game, and then you hear nothing. You hear nothing. Crowd noise doesn't bother you. The only thing that bothers you is it's annoying.
Sure.
Just
kind of something that's
you.
constantly
You don't sit there and go, God, Super Bowl, there's 130 million people watching and this and that. None of that. Doesn't even come. You're so focused and everything around you is dead except what happens on that football field.
All right, let's go ahead and continue with Giannis's day.
And then you have 48 minutes to be great. But those 48 minutes to be great is just the cherry on the cake, to say, the icing on the cake. It's not, for me, my day started at 6:30 in the morning. So after that, my favorite part of the whole thing is when the game ends and I do my recovery and then I go speak to my beloved media outlets around the world, and I try, as I said, to keep it light, because if I'm also there serious, it will ruin the whole day. I try to share some jokes, interact a little bit with the people because they're also tired. It's 10 p.m. at night. They want to go home. And after that, I put my kids in the car, and I go home and I put them to bed. And then we do it again the next day, every single day.
I wonder if there's pukers in baseball or in basketball.
Like before the game?
Yeah. Because we had probably 3 or 4 pukers. Frank was a puker. I think Doug Evans was a puker.
I got to imagine maybe early, but because there's 82 of them,
yeah.
I'm guessing at some point you kind of settle into a rhythm because you could be playing 4 games in a week.
Gabe, what was your biggest takeaway from Giannis's day?
It's long.
Yeah, long. I guess my biggest takeaway, I didn't realize there was as much, especially early. I knew of, the shoot-arounds, all that. But it seems like he does a lot to make sure that his body is ready, not just for that game, but he's doing a lot to make sure that his body can play for a long period of time. That's, there are specific things that he mentions in there. That was my biggest takeaway of not just the strength training, but also preventative probably isn't the right word, but just the sustainability of his body.
To me, it sounded exhaustive. I mean, you guys mentioned 6:30, the game ends at 10, he goes home, he puts his kids to bed. One, he mentioned his kids a lot, 3 or 4 times he mentions his kids. To me, they are the highlight of his day.
Yep.
The highlight of his life. So as I extrapolate from what he said, the other stuff is work. It's work. He is very dedicated. He's incredibly committed. He wants to be the best, but it is work. He is punching the clock from the moment he wakes up till the moment he takes that nap. And even I could make the argument that nap in the middle of the day is part of his work assignments as well. All of that stuff is so that he can be the very best for the Milwaukee Bucks, for the NBA, for the Greek national team, and also be his best spouse-ish, soon-ish, dad for those kiddos. But I kind of heard, I think it's weighing on him. I think the idea when he brought up his kids so many times, I feel like they are the break for him, the joy for him from everything else that is a little bit of a grind, Gabe.
Which isn't shocking. I mean, if you watched the Giannis documentary, you know how important family is. How bad he wanted to be a dad, right? Because of what his family has meant to him, and he couldn't wait to be a dad and do all those things. And he was, his rookie year, ready to walk away from basketball unless they got his family over here. Because and as he said in the documentary, that's the reason he does this all, is for his family. At that point, he's like, yeah, I can walk from basketball anytime as long as I have my family.
I wonder what the day after a game is for them, because Mondays were the worst, win or lose. They're the worst. Mondays is the worst because Holmgren had a system where, you lose a game, you're going to get screamed at. It's just how it goes. You're going to get screamed at. And sometimes when you win a game, you're still going to get screamed at. Because if we were playing back in the day, Detroit sucked, right? But we have San Francisco the next week. You blow Detroit out by 25, you're coming in that Monday and you're getting screamed at. Just because it's San Francisco the next week. I wonder if if there's that kind of psychology in basketball. But I wonder if there's too many games where
Probably depends on the
they
coach.
don't do that.
Probably depends on the coach.
I
and
can't
how they
imagine you're
wanna-
doing much screaming and yelling over the course of an 82-game season.
Well, that's why the NBA was better in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. They were getting screamed at like me.
A lot more
Feel my
yelling.
pain.
A lot more yelling back then.
I don't know. Phil Jackson just never
God, when Mike
Screams
yelled
yeller
too,
to
it
me.
was not fun.
The
he looks like a yeller.
transcript of Giannis's comments is available on Twitter. You can read through that if you'd like to. Again, it was 3+ minutes long of him going through his day from 6:30 in the morning until he gets back home. And then he articulated that he does it again and again and again. I imagine that there are some days where he can take a day off. You know, like we saw this off season, he and his family went to Disney World. I imagine he's not doing that routine or something comparable. But it does feel like, Gabe, to your point, he is spending an awful lot of time on his body, on his mental health, making sure that he can play this game for a long time. And yet it does, to me, what I read it as is it's a grind. He probably feels very thankful. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he's probably incredibly grateful and appreciative for the opportunities he's been given. But at some point, it becomes a job. And it feels to me like now it is very much a job for Giannis. Not saying he doesn't love basketball. Not saying he doesn't love the opportunities and the fortune that the sport has provided him and his family. But it did feel like a job.
And I'm guessing, Chew, that happens, right?
Well, it's different
Like,
for
you know
us
it's a job.
because the only fun day for us is Sunday.
Yeah.
Practice stinks. Meetings stink. Everything stinks. And that's why football players just complain. I'm serious. We just complain. And my son, who's in the business now, doesn't do it as much, but you know what he does? Complain.
Well, because he's
It's
leading the
just
meetings as a coach. He can't complain. He can't complain about the meetings when you're running the meeting.
No. But no one wants to get screamed at.
No.
Right? That's not fun. It's just the pressure and the anxiety. You know, I wish football allowed you, and well, they do it today. I wish you could play on a Sunday and then play again on a Wednesday. But back in the day, we didn't have really Thursdays and stuff like that. So we had to, it just rotted at you for a week. You know, if you lose a game that you're not supposed to lose, it sucked. People think it's all, great, this, that. No.
It sounds like what you're saying, though, Chu, is that the mental element, the mental anguish was way more difficult to manage than your body being put through the rigors, car accident, as they have often likened playing an NFL football game, too.
Because back in my day, coaches didn't care. Oh, your knee hurts? It's all swollen? I don't care. Get down the middle of the field, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, it's a grind.
Yeah, I saw playmakers. I know.
Are you allowed to say that word?
Playmakers?
As an ESPN employee?
Playmakers. Probably not. But you know what? I did see it. I'm not going to deny that I saw it. Let everybody know.
Wow, yeah, that's bold by Jen over there, as much as ESPN likes to avoid that. Something you should not avoid, though, especially with this holiday weekend. You're going to be out. You're going to be about. You're going to be doing some busy things, and at some point, you're going to get home and be like, man, I don't want to make dinner, but I still want something that's really good, and that's where Palermo's comes in. You should make sure that you have some Palermo's family of brands in the frozen pizza stocked in your freezer at all time. I know I do. Right now, I've got a Primo Thin in there, along with a Screamin' Sicilian. I also like the Neighborhood Pizzeria, but you could grab Connie's, Urban Pie, Surfer Boy Pizza, all these brands underneath the Palermo's family of brands, because they know what they're doing when it comes to frozen pizza. They've been doing this for over 60 years right here in Wisconsin. And with all those brands, they're sure to have one that fits your appetite. Find them in your grocer's frozen food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got an accident now on 894 eastbound, right about at 60th Street. The right lane is blocked, so that's backing things up towards Forest Home. On the westbound side, of course, got your usual backups from 27th Street out to 68th. Northbound 43, slow from North Avenue up past Keefe. And then on westbound 94, we're seeing backups basically from 25th Street all the way to the Stadium interchange. Traffic is brought to you by Johnson & Sons Paving. Follow the 3 R's of asphalt maintenance to avoid minor issues becoming huge headaches. Reseal, repair, and replace. Learn more at johnsonsonspaving.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, sunny and warm, humid with a high of 87. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 68. Weather's brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. The WeatherTech International is coming up July 11th through the 14th. Get your tickets today and check out the full season schedule at roadamerica.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Rick was at risk for a stroke, but now he's taking steps to reduce that risk. He checks his high blood pressure routinely to keep it under control. He exercises 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week to get his heart pumping. He also calls the Wisconsin Tobacco Quit line to help him manage his nicotine cravings. Did you know 80% of all strokes are preventable? Be like Rick and reduce your risk of stroke. Good job, Rick. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services Coverdale Stroke Program.
Discover the difference at findhigherlove.com/CBD. Higher Love Cannabis Company is the only cultivator in the UP offering organic, clean, green certified products. That means quality you can trust every time. With 7 locations across the UP, including Menominee, Norway, and Ironwood, finding your higher love is easier than ever before. And for our friends in Green Bay, Higher Love is less than an hour away. Kindness starts with you. Experience Higher Love today. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD and follow them on social media at Find Higher Love.
Finally, warmer weather, green grass, birds chirping. Don't spend your weekend surrounded by all that junk. Get your free, no obligation, same-day estimate from 2 Men and a Junk Truck. You'll restore your sanity and reclaim your space when 2 Men and a Junk Truck pulls in your driveway. Visit 2menandajuncktruck.com for your free, no obligation estimate today.
Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for 2, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 6-pack 0.5-liter bottle or 7.5-ounce mini can. Selected varieties Coke products, 4 for $17. 10 to 15-ounce Old Dutch tortilla chips or pretzels, 2 for $5.50. 12 to 50 count selected varieties Dixie plates or bowls, 2 for $5. 8 to 12 count selected varieties Scott bath tissue or paper towels, $9.99.
Why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take the mound at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 24th.
Hi, it's Haley from the newest Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek. Come see me today. Haircuts are just $20. Lady Jane's, Oak Creek on Howell Ave, just south of Puth Road. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I mean, this world is geared towards women. Like, what do we
I am
get?
stepping away from this. Goodbye.
Like, what do we get? They get a comb that dries your hair. We get a stupid razor.
Hey,
I mean, what's the coolest thing we get? They get the hair dryer?
Control.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Apparently, there is some breaking news. Where's our breaking news sounder? Larson.
We now have it. That's the new one.
Oh, baby. Now this is some breaking news.
Gabe, what is the breaking news out of the MLB?
Aaron Civale is the new member of the Milwaukee Brewers, starting pitcher who has had most success with the Cleveland franchise, with the Guardians. He's pitched the last couple of seasons for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Says in trade, do we have any idea what they're trading? Minor league pitcher? Minor league prospect?
It's going to be some minor leaguer, because if you're trading for somebody that has an ERA over 5, you ain't giving up much.
That's true. Maybe they think that he's a project. And
this is the $3 million thing with the Bucks yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Veteran minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, you just need arms at this point. You need arms to get through the season. I don't think, do I think this is the last boot move the Brewers make? I do not.
We will talk to Sophia Minnaert in just a few minutes. She will hopefully tell us a little bit more about the acquisition for the Brewers. But Ken Rosenthal of Fox fame was doing a podcast, I believe it was yesterday, and they were talking about, understandably, one of the best teams in the National League, the Milwaukee Brewers. Take a listen to what Ken Rosenthal had to say about the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday.
Well, you're referring to something in the Athletic we call the trade deadline watch, and I wrote it in combination with Will Salmon and Patrick Mooney. And Eric, you raised an excellent question, a great question. That wasn't the purpose of the article, but that might be the subject of a future column, because frankly, you're absolutely right. This is different. They've got a huge lead in the division, relatively speaking. They have a special position player group. They are short in their starting rotation. And this is the way they do it. We get it, but you're absolutely right. Circumstances change. And I know Mark Attanasio, he doesn't like to jump out there and be the guy at the deadline. If anything, they've done things in reverse, the Hader trade being most notable among them. The ads they've made over the years have not been all that significant. At the same time, yes, I can make the case, and you are making the case, that it is time. And I wrote the other day about the Red Sox and them not going for it and how they should go for it. Different circumstance, I know, high revenue team. This team, the Brewers, I believe you are absolutely right. They are doing this with a reduced payroll. They are doing this with a team that lost its manager and lost its best pitcher. This team should be reinforced and applauded for what they've done, not just in a piecemeal way.
It sounds to me like he is saying the Brewers should be buyers. Is that how I should be interpreting what Ken Rosenthal is saying?
Not just buyers, aggressive buyers.
All in buyers. I believe our guy, this guy, right here to my right, said that, Chew, several weeks ago. Did you not say that you thought the Brewers, given how successful they have been, should be going for it this year?
Yes. Go get CC. I don't know who CC is, but go get CC. Yes, that big, Gabe, right?
You get somebody that big's got to be available. That's the problem. And the issue with baseball right now is at the trade deadline, you sacrificed maybe some action at the trade deadline for extra playoff spots because there are more teams that are alive for the playoffs now than there were, I don't know, 30 years ago when you absolutely loved baseball. And that's part of it. Like a team like the Mets, who 3 weeks ago we thought were going to be sellers, are now suddenly, because of a hot streak, in the mix for a wild card. So they're probably going to be hanging on to some of those players that maybe would have been traded because they want to go for it. So you've got to find the right match in terms of a team that's so far out of it. And if a team that's that far out of it, do they have a player that's worth giving up? That is the quality of a CC Sabathia. That remains to be seen.
I know hindsight's 2020, but do we regret getting rid of Burns?
No.
Why?
Because Joey Ortiz has been phenomenal.
Well, and so that was the other thing that popped for me when I was listening to Ken Rosenthal. He said something about the acquisitions they've gotten recently haven't really panned out. Along those lines, I'm paraphrasing. Willy Adames? William Contreras? Joey Ortiz? Like, those are all acquisitions that they have gotten in the last few years that have really panned out, Gabe. What did he mean? Did he mean specifically at the trade deadline?
Yeah. Like, who is the random white outfielder that they got last year? I'm just blanking on his name.
Play some Jeopardy music here because
I mean, but those are the guys he's talking about. The guy, I can't even remember his name, that they acquired, and he was supposed to be the bat, and he was fine. He didn't make a huge difference for the Brewers, right? Like, he wasn't the big piece that put them over the top, got them into some sort of position where they were contenders in the postseason. But they've made more minor moves in terms of some of the players that they have acquired. Carlos Santana, who was fine, but he's just not. You know, it's kind of along the lines of this Aaron Savali trade.
Did they make a move when they went to the NLCS?
In 18? No, because they had kind of loaded up. Like, you know,
Moustakas and was that Grandal and Hall?
Grandal was the next year.
Okay.
But you're right. Moustakas was the move that they made that year. But they had acquired Christian and Kane, and they were aggressive that off season in getting some of the guys that they ended up getting.
Have to with baseball, how unfair it is, and you're sniffing. You gotta go all in. No, I mean all in, Gabe. I mean all in, not some.
But again, the problem is there has to be somebody out there worth going all in for. Like, you don't want to go all in and throw all those chips in for somebody who's not CC. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you throw all those chips in, and the return is somebody that's less than that.
Is it Mark Canna?
Yeah,
had to look it up. I went back in 2023 acquisitions for the Milwaukee Brewers, and his name was the only one where I was like,
yeah,
can't put a face to it.
Yeah, Mark Canna. Who, again, he was fine, but he was just like, oh, okay, we can throw him in the lineup, and he's okay.
All right, so let's figure out what Ken Rosenthal was saying, which I believe is that the Brewers should be buyers. I want to make sure that we don't misrepresent or paraphrase too grandly what Ken Rosenthal is saying, and we'll put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy poll. We also are having Sophia Minnaert join the show in just a few minutes. We can ask her what she thinks of this thought process that, given where the Brewers are in the National League standings, this is a year for them to go all in. This is a year for them to go out and acquire somebody who can be a difference maker if they exist. Because to Gabe's point, maybe they don't. And again, the Cubs are the worst team right now in the division at 12 games back. Are the Cubs trading with the Brewers? Does anyone see that happening? Does anyone see the Cubs giving up any?
Gabe,
does anyone see the Cubs giving up any pieces? Does anyone see those two teams, getting warm and fuzzy and working together?
I do not.
Okay,
don't see that one
Just
coming.
wanted to make sure. So you can eliminate that team that is doing terribly this year as a potential trade partner. But we'll see if we can find one. Sophia Minnaert is coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
The 2024 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open is coming July 16th at the Bog Golf Course, and we want you to be there. Caller number 8 right now will get one spot in our fan foursome, where you will team up with fellow ESPN Milwaukee fans from the other shows. You and your fellow fans will play 18 at the Bog in Saukville and have a chance to win a Milwaukee Brewers grand prize. So caller 8 right now, 800-990-3776. We'll see you on July 16th.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Still dealing with an accident on 894 eastbound, right about at 60th Street. The right lane is blocked with this crash, and it is backing things up pretty much all the way back to Forest Home. On the westbound side, slowing down from 27th Street to about 68th. Northbound 43, a little heavy from about North Avenue up towards Keefe. Traffic is brought to you by Two Men and a Junk Truck. Have unwanted clutter or junk? Go to twomeninaajuncktruck.com for a free, no-obligation estimate. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Sunny, warm, and humid, a high of 87. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 68. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We all know breakfast is an important part of your day. But sometimes when you're traveling for business, you end up staying at a hotel that doesn't offer any. You know what happens? You grab a cup of coffee and skip the meal entirely. We've all been there. But if you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you can enjoy their free Bright Side breakfast featuring delicious baked goods, fruit, eggs, yogurt, and waffles. And really, who doesn't want to start their day with a fresh hot waffle? Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
My father would always say, and there's a rhyme and a reason to it. He said, if you wear your rubbers in the house, you'll go blind. Do the two youngsters on the show here even know what rubbers are? I'm talking the ones that go over the shoes.
On 94.5 ESPN. From the latest happenings on the diamond.
They've obviously taken their hits at times, but I think Freddie Peralta has been so steady. Colin Ray, same thing.
To all the insight and expertise on things outside the ballpark.
And he does it so unorthodox. Like, he'll change his batting stance, like, within an at-bat or at-bat to at-bat. Like, it's insane. Like, it defies kind of everything that you hear from players.
We only turn to one person. Batter up. It's Sophia Minnaert on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Brought to you by Century Foods. Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 24th. Century Foods, the best meat in town. Also brought to you by Two Men in a Junk Truck. From unwanted furniture to full-service residential and commercial cleanouts. Go to twomeninajuncktruck.com to book your free, no-obligation, same-day estimate.
Who better to talk about the moves the Brewers are making than our friend Sophia Minnaert? Good morning, Sophia.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
We're good. And we are talking about the Brew Crew as they, obviously so well deserve. What do you know about this new guy that the Brewers just obtained in trade?
John, I'm not going to lie, I woke up 2 minutes ago. Who I'm referring to.
This is fantastic. Gabe, the breaking news is...
Aaron Civale, right, a pitcher from the Tampa Bay Rays, right? He is now the newest member of the Milwaukee Brewers. They sent a minor league infielder to Tampa to complete the trade.
So beyond breaking down, what he can do and all of that, because that would be very unfair to you as you just woke up a few moments ago, what would a move like this, adding... do for the Brewers and give us the state of the team right now, because we have been talking, it feels like, about injuries for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, not to be confused with Ricky Weeks, who is obviously a member of the coaching staff, but and so does this obviously helps, but in what way does this help morale and the journey the Brewers are on this season?
Well, I think it's just like, first of all, it's just need. We've talked a lot about the injuries, as you guys said, like 15 different starting pitchers. They have really tapped into their pitching depth. And then what that does for the bullpen as well, right? Like, so the Brewers, up until this point at the season, have been at or near the bottom in terms of innings per starters. They've also been at or near the bottom of quality starts, meaning going 6 innings, allowing 3 runs or more. And that's not necessarily because they're pitching poorly. It's just because they have a lot of inexperience in their rotation, and so and also because of the injuries, they haven't had a lot of guys that have been able to go deep into games consistently. So even a move like they just added Dallas Keuchel, who just made his second start. They acquired him from the Seattle Mariners. He has an incredible career resume. He'd been pitching in AAA. It's a very similar move. So Aaron Civale has a great track record in the league. The Brewers have a long relationship with the Tampa Bay Rays of making moves with that organization. They're kind of very similarly minded. The Rays, they were also kind of at the forefront of using openers, and they're very big into matchups and developing pitching, much like the Brewers are. Matt Arnold, the GM, came over from the Tampa Bay Rays, so there's a long history there. You're going to probably see more moves like this moving forward up until the trade deadline as they just try to continue to just supplement their depth and give themselves more options. Against Volley's a guy that's been in the league a while. He has great experience. So honestly, a move like that is not surprising to me. And I think you're probably going to see similar moves like that over the next couple weeks before the trade deadline.
Sophia, we know there's going to be probably a push on pitchers coming at the trade deadline. Do the Brewers have to overpay to get a top-notch pitcher? Because you take someone like a team like the Yankees or the Dodgers, where they don't really care because next year they have so much money they can go and replace that where the Brewers can't. So in order for the Brewers to get a top-notch pitcher, it's kind of like Green Bay was back in the year. Mm-hmm. Where they always threaten, like, hey, if you don't do this, we're going to ship you off to Green Bay. And Green Bay typically early on in free agency had to overpay to get players to come there. And once they figured out they were winning, then that kind of backed off. But will they have to overpay to go get like a CC Sabathia as opposed to some of these other teams?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think, first of all, the Brewers have a great reputation in terms of how they develop pitching. And just the position of the team, it's a favorable place to come right now. I think, we heard that from Dallas Keuchel too, is just like from across the field. They're a team that's always in it. They're always competitive, seem to have a great culture organizationally, a great vibe within the clubhouse. All the positive things that you hear from players, on the other side. And there are reputations that are built across the league from that. And so I think Milwaukee has established itself as a favorable place to be, especially as a pitcher coming from a different organization. I don't think they're going to overpay in the free agent market right now. There just aren't many options. Every team is looking for pitching right now. And they're in a pretty good place with their farm system. But again, to acquire a top tier pitcher, you could throw out any name, it's going to require, you have to give up a couple good prospects in order to make a move like that, and maybe even throw in some major league ready talent. So I don't know if they're in a position to make that move at this point. I think, again, they've put themselves in a really good position here as the trade deadline comes up closer at the end of the month, but we'll see what kind of moves they decide to go with.
Sophia, the Brewers decided to team up with the Cleveland Guardians to try to get some guys into the All-Star game, and I believe at last check, both Contreras and Yelich led their respective positions, so a big working out. How does something like that come together where they decide, hey, let's work together to make sure we get guys represented at the All-Star game?
Yeah, I think it's fun, right? That's a credit to the marketing department, honestly. The marketing department, communication, social media, they get together with Cleveland. What's hard with the All-Star voting is, the first couple rounds when it's the fan vote, so much of that is a popularity contest, market size, right? All the things. Players or fans are voting for their favorite players. And so I think it's just a way to collaborate with a similarly positioned organization to, just support each other, get the fan bases to support each other, try to get, obviously, the job done, and try to get your players on the finalist list. And then it moves on to the player and the manager vote. So, I think it's a fun collaboration. I think we'll find out the results later tonight. We're hoping, William Contreras, he's been at the top of the catcher list, and then Christian has been in the top 3 for the outfield position. So I think we're hoping for good news for both of them.
Sophia Minnaert hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here. We were just listening to Ken Rosenthal, who was on a podcast talking about how he essentially thinks the Brewers should be buyers. There's this idea of them being all in just based on what they have done this year. And again, given the injuries that they have sustained and been able to overcome, it's just a really impressive run by them and a great story in baseball. Are you hearing any rumblings? Does it seem like this is a team that is going to be all in as we approach, the All-Star break and the trade deadline?
I guess I would caution against an all-in approach, because I think everyone could define that differently, right? look, historically, they have been buyers at the deadline. They've always made moves to add. That goes back to David Stearns and, again, now Matt Arnold. I think the only, exception that you could make to that was 2022 was, when they traded Josh Hader to the Padres, they felt they got a really good return back. The only player that is left from that deal is Robert Gasser, right, who we saw earlier this year, and unfortunately just had Tommy John, but he should be a big part of the Brewers' future here moving forward. So I would just say that they've always added. And like we were just talking about, I think where they're going to add the most is with their pitching staff. I think they feel pretty confident in where they are with their position player group. If you're, when you're reading kind of the national narrative on the team, you read about that, a lot of other teams are interested in the outfield group because of just, they're young, they're controllable, they're very talented, they're at the front of their careers. I'm talking about guys like Garrett Mitchell, of course, who just came back up, Sal Frelick. Jackson Chourio will probably be protected from that considering his contract, but there certainly are some desirable pieces on this Brewers roster. And again, in the farm system, they're in a pretty good position. So I certainly expect them to continue to want to add to their depth to just continue this, hopefully a really good second half. But, in terms of all in, I don't know how you want to define that, but I think they'll continue to add.
And you mentioned Garrett Mitchell. He went 1 for 2 with a single in his season debut yesterday against the Rockies. She's Sophia Minnaert. We appreciate her joining us this morning, getting up, knocking the sleep out of her eyes, and talking Brewers with us.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
All right. You'll see Sophia on the Bally Sports Wisconsin broadcast for the Brewers tonight. Tonight. All right, Sophia, we'll talk to you again soon. She's gone. For your next night out, make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate, the Arts Hotel, your dinner destination. It's nestled on the second floor of St. Kate. It's an artful dining experience that captivates with its culinary creativity. It has inventive flavors and it transcends tradition, so you should experience the magic of Aria, where every bite is a work of culinary artistry. Learn more and make reservations at aria@stkate.com. That's aria@stkate.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel. Join myself and Stephen Watson every Tuesday night at 6 here on 94.5 ESPN for On the Tee, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips. Each and every Tuesday, Stephen and I are going to give you the latest in Wisconsin golf, sprinkle in some of the latest in our own golf games, plus talk about professional golf. Get your golf fix each and every Tuesday night at 6 with On the Tee, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips, right here on 94.5 ESPN, or listen back to the show with Wisconsin On Demand.
Jen Latta here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I have told you about the delicious pizza you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate. Now there's even more to be excited about with new sandwiches on the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy options like the turkey pesto, the meatball hero, the Italian hoagie, and more. Skip the same old lunch at your desk and grab a delicious sandwich from Proof instead. Order inside the restaurant or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
Frank Daniels, our Madison goldsmith, has an idea.
Bring him in.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Sarah. Hi, Monica.
It's great to see you, Frank. What's your idea?
It's a new company policy.
Let's hear it.
You know the world-famous Kessler's warranty?
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple. Even if you lose a diamond, including the center stone, we'll replace it. All maintenance is free forever. Yes, it really is that miraculous.
Every time I hear that warranty, it blows my mind.
I propose we have a jewelry cleaning policy that's as amazing as that warranty.
What would it say?
Bring us your jewelry and we'll professionally clean it. While you wait, for free. You can come in as often as you want, and we don't care where you bought your jewelry. The only thing that matters is that you want it to look amazing again. We want that too.
I vote yes.
I vote yes. I vote yes. The motion carries.
Congratulations, Frank. Your idea is now company policy.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
We all love Saturdays, but are they really all that rewarding? I mean, do you really feel rewarded after mowing the lawn or doing all your I gotta do this because today's the weekend whatevers? Well, Potawatomi wants your Saturdays to be the most rewarding ever with a share of $400,000 in cash and prizes. Just play this July for prize drawing entries. Win on Saturdays. Plus, each Potawatomi rewards level gets their own drawing. Rewarding Saturdays at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. For more details, visit paysbig.com/rewarding. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. For every 2 windows you buy, you get 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. So call 414-410-2000 to schedule your free in-home estimate today. And for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. That is 5 years. Restrictions apply. Tell them I told you to call and get an additional $250 off your next project. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to uwd.com. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You called them a white stiff earlier.
From one white stiff to another? I'm pretty well versed in the realm of stiffs.
On 94.5 ESPN.
If you love sports betting, you got to make your way over to Potawatomi. They've got the new sports book, and it is fantastic. I mean, they've got the new restaurant, brand new tastes and scents and all of the things that you could want. They've got a VIP deck that you and your friends can rent out for special occasions. Maybe you got a birthday coming up. Maybe there's a big game that you want to watch, like the Midsummer Classic, for instance. That would be a great place to watch it because they have a 2,000 square foot video board where you can watch all of the games. It's a new era of sports betting at Potawatomi, guys. You got to get in on the action. Get down to Potawatomi Casino Hotel and experience the sports book. I got to say, Chew, I am very proud of you. Not even a hint.
You go poop in the potty
of
again?
Sarcasm. He did such a good
boy.
No, he told us in the production meeting this morning he had senioritis. And he said, I don't know how valuable I'm going to be today. I don't know what I can bring to the table. I don't want to be here. And we were like, it's okay. We'll carry you.
It's crazy because he was in such a good mood on Monday because it was Wednesday on a Monday. And usually he loves Fridays. He's energetic on Fridays. And today is a Friday on a Wednesday.
But Fridays follows what?
Thursday. You didn't have your Blammer Thursday?
There you go.
No Blammer Thursday.
One other thing that was better 30 years ago.
The Blammer?
Me.
Yeah, join the club. Show of hands, who was better 30 years ago? Well, emotionally, no, for me, but everything else. Also financially, not better 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I was panhandling to make ends meet, so we're in a totally different space there. So, no, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you
Thank
because
you.
you powered through, you know?
Yeah. Well, the sun's going to be out. I would
it's gonna be
anticipate
hot,
as
hot
we get
day.
outside.
Hot
No more
day.
rain.
He's a Florida resident now. He's used to the hot days.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's good, right?
That's good for him.
Feels like home. And you got a big party this
I love
weekend.
4th of July.
You're so excited about hosting all those people at your house and the doggies.
Oh, can't wait. We got fireworks tonight, which is lovely, and
fun.
tomorrow night.
Wait, at the lake?
Yeah.
Oh, jealous.
Yeah. So
Really?
I love a good fireworks show.
Yeah, overrated.
I love a good fireworks show. Just one. I only need the one. Just one show, one night, 10 minutes, and I'm good.
What fireworks are you going to on the 4th?
TBD. Not sure. Haven't figured it out yet. Got a little Summerfest action happening. So,
Milwaukee's fireworks are great.
They're not
canceled.
happening. They're not happening.
Canceled.
Why?
Yeah, they were supposed to be tonight, July
Well,
3rd.
they said something on Twitter, and they were like, no, sorry, that's a canceled joke.
Yeah, didn't have the money, didn't have the funding.
Really? Huh. Okay.
Do you know how much they said it costs?
Let me guess. For Milwaukee?
Yeah.
$67,000.
Way more.
Really?
Higher, Bob.
Huh. 100?
Keep going.
Well, that's ridiculous because I know what Okachi pays, and they do an excellent job, and it's not that much.
The Milwaukee County Parks Department notified the public about the cancellation May 24th, and noting the fireworks...
This number is going to blow your mind.
Costs $350,000 for the pyrotechnics alone.
Hold on. Now, is that all the setup and security and all that, or is that just strictly the fireworks?
The pyrotechnics
That's
alone.
a joke.
$20,000 in additional staffing and service costs. They are spending over $250,000 on the fireworks alone.
And so again, they typically get sponsors
Yes.
who then pick up a portion of the cost, and they were not able to lock up the sponsors to cover the Big Bang. Therefore, there will be no Big Bang.
That's ridiculous. Because a private owner is putting the fireworks on tonight. And my guess is they're probably $40,000 or $50,000, and they're fine.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a huge fireworks show where it's
pan it down.
But he's right, though. It does feel like return on investment.
Yeah.
You don't charge admission for fireworks, right?
Correct.
Like when we go to the fireworks at Disney World, people have paid their admission to get in the park, so at least you're getting a little bit of that money to cover the costs of the nightly fireworks show. For the Big Bang, you can't go, give me five, give me five, give me five, to everybody down at Veterans Park. So it does feel like they've never really been able to,
really capitalize off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you have a sponsor throwing money there.
Yeah, that sounds a little steep.
Could you start a GoFundMe?
I suppose you could.
That's
think about that.
panhandling in 2024.
In the digital era, exactly.
The
You start a
Summerfest?
GoFundMe that says, if you want to go to the fireworks, if you want the Big Bang to continue, everybody throw in $5. $5 per person. I throw in $5 for my family of 5. And you do get everybody to do that. Maybe then we can raise the money for the Big Bang.
Yeah, but there's wear and tear on the grass. There's wear and tear on the grass, so you got to put a little. So $8.
Yeah, $8.
Right,
And if you wanted applesauce,
Don't you dare think about going to the bathroom in the woods.
another $1 per person. See, we just crowdfunded the Big Bang here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You guys should give us more things to figure out. We're very good at that type of stuff. Have a great holiday, everybody. Stay safe out there. Enjoy it. Happy birthday to America. We will be back with you on Monday.
We did have an earlier accident on 894 eastbound at about 60th Street that was blocking a lane. That's been cleared. We do still have delays left over stretching back towards 92nd Street, so heads up with that.